Hmm. What's going on, party people? You already know. I'm saying we're here to dance, baby. Let's do it. So, welcome. If this is the first time, we're gonna talk some shit. Hmm. What I do in this channel, pretty much, I break bread. You know what I'm saying? Like I share wisdom. We exchange knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's all me doing the talking, believe me, I'm getting your energy, baby. Trust me. Hmm. But now, with that being said, so we talk about spirituality. And essentially, what I'm saying about spirituality is this, right? It is part of your life, you know. It's the part of your life that is it's the non-physical part of you because there are so many different aspects of ourselves, and it has to be integrated into this life. And that's pretty much what it is. You know what I'm saying? You can't be just fucking spiritual and I don't know. But it all gotta come together, essentially. That's what I'm talking about. So on a brief note, that's what we do here. Now, if you're familiar with what I do, I talk about the ego. Hmm. I also talk about the false self and the true self. And what I call the false self is pretty much a persona that we created, you know, um, throughout mainly during our childhood or, at a very early age. We've been taught to be people pleasers instead of, pleasing ourselves. So it's so many words. I mean, it's not surprising if a lot of people don't know what they want. They don't know what they like because you've been taught to pretty much be a people pleaser. So it definitely makes sense. It worked. It worked. Whatever the fuck. How? Yeah, it worked. And that's pretty much what the karma is all about too. Because karma, it's unlike the way most people look at it. It's pretty much the consequences of your action. There's always an effect to your action. Do you see what I'm saying? And not necessarily something that's going to come back to you. I mean, that's also part of it. But, there's consequences of raising a kid. Do you see what I'm saying? Like a lot of us, and I'll give you a perfect example too. Like, mhm, I was actually watching, I think it was something about Omarion. So he was saying how at a very early age, his parents supported him. They were all about him being himself. And a lot of the kids, not just him, that have parents that support them to be themselves, a lot of those kids come out to be, different, exceptional, very fulfilling. Guys like Dave Chappelle, shit, niggas like fucking Eddie Murphy. How would a nigga like that do comedy at 15 years old, man? The parents. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy shit is, I don't know if you guys saw, was it War? Is it War or Delirious? But anyway, in one of them, he was saying his early jokes, as because he was 15, was pretty much talking about, taking shits. Can you imagine, to have a parent like that? Do you see what I'm saying? They had to be, they play a big part in what the kid, they play a big part in the influence or in the kid's life influence, if that makes any sense. So I'm trying to say too, like, a lot of kids that were supported at a very young age, they tend to know exactly what they want. They tend to be more of themselves. Again, as I stated, that shit really worked. As far as, like there are consequences to our actions. And by those consequences, that's how the false self is actually being created. Hmm. We're gonna talk some shit, right? When you don't show unconditional love to your kids, so therefore you teaching them, conditional love, meaning I will love you if you act a certain way. And guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna act that way just so they can please you. And so, therefore, at a very young age, and as they're doing this, there's a lot of things that's also taking place at the same time. So now, for me to please you, I got to repress my feelings. So all of those things are taking place around the same time. So they have to repress their feelings, the things that they want. So they know. So in so many words, at a very young age, you ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Your parents are technically telling you, nigga, you know what? You ain't shit. Hmm. So all of that is to say, and that's what is pretty much the fake self is about. So a lot of people call it ego, but it's not truly the ego. But I get what they're saying though. But it's okay. That's a whole different topic. But the clarification is very important because I was referring to the true self. So now it's important for us to understand what the fake self is. Right. And today I sort of like wanted to explore, dive more on different aspect of what contributed to the false self, at a very young age that we're not aware of. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's pretty much what I'm going to be talking about because I'm pretty much, I don't know what other tips. Oh yeah, I have another tip, but that's going to be on the next video though. You know what I'm saying? When I was actually, push or, driven to actually, talk about other aspects. And trust me, there are so many different aspects. That's why raising a kid, it takes psychological ability. Do you see what I'm saying? Because life pretty much is a mental institution. Because all is mental. We're living in a fucking mental institution. So dealing with a kid, it's not just, or not just a kid in general, everything that we do, it's all mental. That's our survival kit. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why if you're not knowledgeable down here, what are you doing? Mhm. After all, isn't it the reason why you're going to school to get a better job? Oh, and not just because of that, but I'm just saying, on a lower scale, we're all doing it. I'm just trying to show you a better way, baby. That's all we're doing here. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to show you a better way. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Letting you know you ain't wrong. You're not wrong at all. You know what I'm saying? But you just got to get it right, baby. You just got to get it right. You know what I'm saying, gorgeous? You got to get it right. And I'm here to help you get it right. You feel me? Because us as spiritual teachers or masters, however the fuck you want to call it, that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? Healers on different levels. You know what I'm saying? And for me, that's why I want to concentrate more on the ego because, damn, I mean, not necessarily the ego, but your emotional aspect of yourself. Because that is the transition to your true self. And once you get to your true self, man, shit, nigga, you good. You're good. You just flow with the flow of life. And there's a force in it. You're good. You heard? The game's over. The rest is yours. Then you start exploring. Then you're being the best version of yourself. Then you're getting in touch with different many aspects of yourself too. But anyway, so the video tonight, I wanted to delve a little more on other aspect of the fake self. And a perfect example was the first example that I used, and I've used that before, whereas, I was inspired because, I was actually going through that with my daughter, and then she asked me, it was something that she was doing, and she asked me, was I proud of her? Like, bitch, is you crazy? There's nothing you could do that will make you. I just love you. You're gonna have to deal with that. Now, what you gonna do? You can run, but you can't hide. And of course, she's giving me that smile and all that shit. But I can also feel like, there's something else. Because unfortunately, I mean, she doesn't, stay with me the entire year. So therefore, she's getting her, food from different places, to school, her mother, and all that shit. And, I could tell, you know what I'm saying? Because the reason why she even asked me that was because she wanted to please me. Naturally, of course, she loves me. You know what I'm saying? So she's looking for that, pretty much that same confirmation maybe she got from other side. You know what I'm saying? We ain't even talking about that. You know what I'm saying? But I certainly understand, right? So by me telling her that, I could feel a sense of release. You see what I'm saying? But lucky for her and lucky for both of us, I understood how to talk to her, and allowing her to become her true self and encouraging that too, because you got to create that atmosphere for the kid to just step into it, because we already have it, but it's been repressed. Do you see what I'm saying? Every time you tell a kid, we don't talk about this kind of stuff around here. We don't do that around here. This is what we do. This is all of that. And this is how you got to behave and all of that. Now, I'm not saying not to give the kid a structure here. I mean, because, niggas be wilding. That's not what I'm talking about here. But I'm saying a structure that is structured around that kid becoming themselves, not to become a people pleaser or a crowd pleaser, or even to please you for that matter. That's what I'm talking about. hmm We're going to talk some shit. And all of that. And so, in so many words, I'm telling you how the false self is actually being created. So, we talked about your emotional patterns. We also talk about, what the fuck? Yeah, there are so many aspects of it. So, but your emotional pattern plays a very big part, because now when you're being disappointed, and that's the part that I'm going to be talking about tonight, to be honest. Or when you are being taught like there's a certain image that you got to live your life by, and that's how the fake self is being created. So now it's like you would be more comfortable not to be yourself instead of being yourself. It's insane. It's insane. Shit's wild, bro. But again, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Let me get mine real quick, man. So tonight, I wanted to talk about, the emotional aspect or the pattern that we go through, that somehow fucked us up, but most importantly, that helps us to create that false self. Do you see what I'm saying? To a point where you would have a low self esteem naturally. Like we were raised to have a low self esteem. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna use my daughter again. I don't know what I don't know. Maybe she dropped. I mean, she had this glass. She was actually drinking. I mean, she was drinking out of that cup, right? And she and then she dropped it. She's like, oh, "Sorry, Dad." So I'm like, yo, you're good. You're good. Don't worry about it. It's a fucking cup. Who gives a fuck? Well, I didn't say who gives a fuck like that, but I'm saying, but the bottom line was who it's a fucking glass, man. It's a cup. So what? Come on, man. Give me a hug, nigga. Come get your love, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So, but most people, and I've seen that, they would have been like, what's wrong with you? How the fuck do you drop? What's wrong? That's what most. That's shit. I know. That's how. You know what I'm saying. People would have talked to me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Shit. Trust me. I went through that shit. Like, what the fuck do you mean what's wrong with me? I just drop a glass. Have you ever dropped anything, motherfucker? But you also got to understand when you're saying these things to a kid, now they're like feeling ashamed and guilty. Like, okay, there's something wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? Here's another fucking example. This lady that I work with, right? She got a 2 years old, and she was telling me a little bit about, I took him out last weekend. Oh my god, my 2 year old couldn't like stop. This nigga was just jumping all over the place, and I was like, what the fuck do you expect from a 2 year old? You know what I'm saying? You want the nigga to behave up to? Sit down? Come on, man. Let the motherfucker explore. Shit. Like I know y'all, when my daughter's around and my son, man, I don't know. You probably won't even know who the fuck is the kid here. Cause I'm doing everything they doing. These niggas ain't got nothing on me. Shit, fuck out of here. They jumping, I'm jumping too. The fuck? Like, how do you give an elephant head to a fucking kid? That's fucking child abuse, man. I should have called the fucking, I don't know, like the whoever, but yeah, it's none of my biz. But I definitely did tell her, yo, it's two, man. She's what the fuck? Man. You want to have the kid, but you don't want to spend the time with the kid, or spending time with them is too much. The fuck? But anyway, all of that plays a factor, affect the kid a certain way emotionally. So therefore, I'm not good enough. You see, it's not a coincidence. A lot of people don't know what they want. It's gonna be tough. You've been a people pleaser for almost your fucking entire life, and now you're just waking up to some knowledge. How the fuck, like you don't know what the fuck you like. That's why most people, you know what I'm saying, that you got to do this, you got to do that. But originally, you did know. You did know. Hmm. So even though I may be talking about, you could identify this as some social type of activity, right? But it's all spiritual because everything is mental. Because you got to understand what gets you to relate or to act on your fake self. It's mental. It's this image you have in your mind. You're not even looking at reality. I mean, again, what the fuck is reality? But that would be a whole different topic. But what I'm saying too, this is also showing you how powerful you are and how also you are creating a reality, right? So the bottom line is this, man. Those are some of those emotional patterns that now I feel like, I'm not good enough. Oh, what's fucked up with me? Because especially kid would take that shit to heart. You know what I'm saying? Even if they don't say anything, but they're learning emotionally because that's how that emotional pattern is being created. So now they know, okay, they are learning. And you see that with a lot of kids too. Like they learned who the fuck their parents are. What do you like? What you don't like? So they use that so they could get what they want. So at a very young age, that's what I'm just saying. You have established, or the parents have established, that fake persona for the kid to just walk right into. Hmm. Now, with the spiritual work now, which is pretty much a higher consciousness, now by you doing the shadow work, meaning you're going inward, trying to understand why you act in a certain way, why you think in a certain way. And that's when you have to go into those different pockets of yourself and change everything. Giving yourself a big hug, that wounded child inside of you, now you're trying to heal this motherfucker. And that's what the spiritual life In so many words, a big aspect of it. If not, that's your initiation to it. In so many words, as far as stepping into a new person, which is really the person that you are. And that's what the journey is. Mhm. And some of us have to come from above, what I'm saying, doing maintenance. I'm here to do maintenance, baby. I'm saying, we're here to fix some shit, man. That pattern has got to stop. And that's when the chosen ones comes in. The Christ likes comes in. Not just changing themselves, their family, but also the world. And here we are, baby. This is our story here, and in so many words, that's also the story of a lot of spiritual masters. That's what we came here to do, man. We came to do maintenance, man. Realign you, motherfucker. Like Doctor Strange, you see that how he was realigning shit? Realigning you, motherfuckers, man. That's pretty much what it comes down to. But knowledge is a big key to it. So again, today I wanted to touch on. Oh shit, I could touch on another aspect too. But anyway, I'm gonna leave that for the Patreon because I do have my Patreon page coming up. And basically, like I said the last time, what the Patreon is gonna be about, because I want to be able to create a community. Do you see what I'm saying? A community where people could be devoted. Devoted as far as because you are what you do on a regular basis. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, if you're spending your time, I don't know, like on social media, like 90% of your time doing that shit, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's gonna be consequences that comes with that. And again, this is the land of karma too. hmm Now, for you to escape that kind of karma, you have to align yourself with your true self, right? And as you're aligning yourself with your true self, you're also aligning yourself with the universe. Now you become cosmic in so many words, and your actions are like now you're playing, you're dancing with the world, just like a fucking actor. Like there's no karma, you're just playing your role by knowing who you are and doing you in the full meaning of the word. No. However the fucking it pleases you. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's important. And that's why if you understand this, the whole shadow work, so I mean, because technically the occult has a certain language. There's certain language that they use, which I definitely understand. That's the reason why I can connect those two. Do you see what I'm saying? So, and then the bottom line is pretty much this, man. Once you understand, it's for you to materialize it into your life. But you also got to be careful because what I see happening with a lot of people is that, they're still looking for a way to identify, okay, are you conscious or are you not conscious? So even though being conscious, you're not going to be a fucking asshole, but not being an asshole doesn't mean you're conscious. And that's where I feel like a lot of people kind of go left. There's a certain ethic code that I have in me that I live my life by, but they don't define me. But because I'm conscious, I act that way. But a lot of people tend to be like, okay, and that's why you got to watch out. You got to watch out for this perfect motherfuckers, man. The more perfect a motherfucker is on the outside, trust me, the more evil they are on the inside. Mm. Let me say that again. The more perfect you see a motherfucker On the outside, the more evil this motherfucker is in the inside. And I got receipts. So I was the motherfuckers who would not use profanity, who would not do this, who would not do that. Hmm. Watch out, man. You know what I'm saying? Just the messenger, dog. You know what I'm saying? Just the messenger. So, in a nutshell, what are we talking about here? We're talking about different aspect of yourself. And but most importantly, and those two well, two major aspects of yourself, right? I mean, for lack of better terms, because you have your emotional self, your all of that. But let's just summarize everything in two. All right. Let's just do okay. Let's take baby steps here. You know what I'm saying? Let's bounce, baby. Okay, we're gonna bounce from this. We're gonna bounce from that. You feel me? So that's what we're doing. So your personal, I mean, the fixed self, which pretty much, the whole motivation, the whole thing behind it, the fuel is to please people. And as you're doing so, you're pretty much repressing yourself. It's suicide. You're killing yourself slow, man. And you know it too. That's why, once you start having a higher self esteem, it's just you learning how to appreciate yourself. That's you adding value into yourself. Do you see what I'm saying? And that has nothing to do with pleasing other people. And in a process, other people are offended by it. You know. Hmm. It speaks for itself. It speaks for itself. But I can tell you that you would be more appreciated, more respected for being yourself. I could tell you this much. I know for me that shit works like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I done been around all type of motherfucking niggas, dog. All type of niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? I still find my way and niggas still give me my respect, man. Only because I ain't trying to be you. And I'm not judging you either, nigga. You know what I mean? Shit, in the company of the blinds, nigga, I close my eyes, you hurt. Mhm. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, still maintaining the person that I am. I mean, you could call it respect. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying all of this to say, when it comes to spirituality, and really what's, the transition part has to do with you coming from your fake self, annihilating that fake self, i.e., the term being born again. But in so many words, you're not really being born again. But I understand what it's like to be born again, what they mean by being born again, because now you're learning how to do everything new. The way you look at yourself is going to be new. The way you're looking at the world around you is going to be new. But it's something that you already had it. So it is in so many words because now it's like being, having a low self esteem now to becoming a higher self esteem. It's gonna take steps. You're gonna have to get there by baby step, baby. Baby steps. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I understand it's being born again because now it's pretty much you using your eyes, like for the very first time. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's what Neo was talking about too. You know what I mean? In that fucking movie, Matrix, whatever. Hmm. So it's that transition between you having to slay your dragon. I mean, that's the term. Like again, the occult words, and again, I'm just bringing sights to the blinds, baby. You feel me? And that only has to do, and most people will call it ego, but it's not the ego. It's the fuck. Well, they do call it the false self ego. Okay, all right, but that's not what your ego is. But we're just gonna flow with it. We're gonna flow with it. But essentially, what I'm really talking about here, damn, 30 minutes. God damn, just when I'm getting warm up too, man. The fuck? All right, so we're gonna have to stop it in just a couple more minutes. But anyway, let me get back to. I just need to finish up this point real quick. What the fuck was I talking about? Mm. Playing the self, the transition, the false self, i.e., ego. I mean, in quotation, ego. Which was actually built throughout your childhood, and there are so many, and when you become a member of the Patreon, we're going to talk about all those different aspects on how it is actually being created. Because if you understand how it's being created, it gives you a better chance. Well, not just a better chance. I mean, it's mental, right? Because what you realize in so many words, you neutralize. Oh shit, I'm talking some shit. Because a lot of us, the problem is that we're not conscious of it. But once you become conscious of it, that's why you got to raise your vibration before you do your shadow work. And as you're raising your vibration too, I mean the dirts are automatically you know what I'm saying they're gonna start popping up, baby. Hey, I'm there. I'm here. You're like, oh, okay. That's what that shit's about. Pretty much. So now, with that being said, that's what we do here. So we talk about spirituality, being a healer, helping you to manage your emotion, pretty much, because that's what spirituality does in a nutshell. Do you see what I'm saying? But obviously, yes, there is more to it. As you get on that other side, being in touch with yourself, oh my God, there's so much to it, so much, so much, so much, so much to it. So now, with that being said, it's always a pleasure. I just wanted to leave you guys with this here real quick. There's more to come. As always, we here active, what I'm saying, giving you, what I'm saying, the gems, what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Nothing but love, man. You already know. I seen. My leg.